Tracey Kelusky was born September 9, 1975 in Peterborough, Ontario. Although a gifted multi-sport athlete throughout his adolescence, Tracey didn't start playing lacrosse until he was 14 years old. And without a chance encounter with John Grant Jr., lacrosse history may never have been made.
My dad and I were at Foot Locker buying some shoes, lacrosse shoes for the upcoming season, and Tracey just was there with his dad buying shoes for baseball. And my dad heckled Tracey's dad, Reg, and I obviously heckled Trace. We knew each other because our dads worked together, and he came out that summer. I think it was in Pee Wee, and it's pretty crazy that he, became a Hall of Famer starting that late in the game.
He came along slow. He joined the Peterborough Minor Lacrosse and played house league until he got to get his skills down, and of course the other kids, Junior and other guys, took him aside, fixed the stick, and picked up and helped him along the way.
He worked really hard, and he became a great lacrosse player, and to be able to do that so late in life, and I know 14's not, by all means late, but it's a late start compared to everyone else that had already been playing for 10 years, and he was able to be the player he is truly amazing, and it just means he's just naturally gifted athlete.
Tracey quickly embraced the game and was fortunate to receive quality coaching and guidance through his teenage years.
John Grant Sr. was influential in teaching him the game, getting the stick in his hand, and showing him the ropes along the way.
We always used to joke around. He was my dad's favorite son. Like when I was a prima donna or a diva or whatever, he just put his nose down and worked. Never, ever stopped. Didn't matter if he was first line, second line, third line, or not playing.
He's natural at whatever he does. He's a natural leader, and he just works hard at whatever he's not great at, he works hard at.
After playing college lacrosse for the University of Hartford, Tracey joined the Columbus Land Sharks and was named NLL Rookie of the Year in 2000-2001. The following season, he played for the expansion Montreal Express. After the Express folded, the Calgary Roughnecks made Tracey the first overall pick in the dispersal draft.
Through talking to all the GMs around the league and all that kind of stuff, this Tracey Kelusky kept popping into the conversation. Obviously, he was a up-and-coming superstar, so I remember making the phone call to him shortly after his playoff run was over, and he was very adamant that Calgary wasn't exactly on his list. He didn't want to think about it right now and things like that, so we had to kind of work on him a little bit. So we decided to fly him and his wife out, Emily.
And I remember the first thing that Tracey said to me was, besides, hi, I'm Tracey, was, I'm going to come here and I want the C. And I said, what? And he goes, I want to be the captain. And so, of course, me at the time didn't really think too much of it, but I said, of course, you can have it if that's what's going to take for you to get here. And I didn't realize, because I'd never played with Tracey before, but just how much of a leader he was and how much that he needed that C, because that was Tracey.
It was pretty evident as soon as I got to Calgary who the general was on the floor, who was taking charge of the practices, making sure the guys were on the ball, keeping guys focused, just doing what Tracey does, lead.
Being able to come to the rink with a guy like that who was so passionate and loved the game of lacrosse was absolutely something that I took as one of the greatest things in my career, because he really brought the team up. He made everyone feel like, hey, this is where we want to be. We want to come to the rink. We want to be part of this team and family, and he was a great leader in that aspect.
Always a proponent of family on the floor and family off the floor, Tracey and his wife Emily are still famous for their Calgary Sunday night dinners.
I think that was part of our success over the years as a group in Calgary. We had a bunch of guys who weren't from Calgary, didn't have family in Calgary, so the Roughnecks became our family. And Tracey was really sort of the ringleader of that, sort of the goofy father figure.
We'd have Sunday Fun Day, which was kind of our slang that came out of it. And those are some of my fondest memories in Calgary. And Emily, his wife, included everyone. They made it feel like, hey, this isn't about lacrosse. This is about hanging out and being great people. And being the superstar, being the guy, you didn't have to do that. You'd come to the rink and people would respect you. But going that extra mile really made me feel at home.
He's somebody that you can talk to about pretty much anything. And that's, I think, where I gained a lot of personal respect for him and a great personal relationship.
They're both very giving kind of people. They care. They don't pretend to care, but they actually really care, and they work really hard to really just be good people. Just being around them, there was a lot of interaction with other players and their teammates and their wives. There was a real bond there between everybody, and I think if you were around Tracey, you knew that, like in his neighborhood, everybody kind of knew him and sort of loved him the same way that I think the whole city did. He was just such a fun guy to be around.
Tracey would win 2 titles with the Roughnecks, one in 2004 and one in 2009. Both were special for very different reasons.
2004 was a great experience, the sold-out building, Tracey leading the charge. I remember sitting with Ken King at the time, as a matter of fact, and I don't think he'd experienced a whole bunch of games, and he said, we're down by 4, I think it's over. And I said, no, we got that guy there, number 17, that captain right there, it's gonna change, you watch. And obviously it did, and we won that game.
It was probably my favorite moment in lacrosse history, just because there were so many people here, all our families were in town, the pressure was on us, but yet we were loose. I think as the captain, he did such a great job of keeping everyone's nerves down, making it fun, making it enjoyable, and it was an absolutely remarkable day, a remarkable time in our lives.
You know, it was pretty emotional at the end of the championship in 2009. He passed the trophy to me, and you know, I knew how much it meant to him to you know, about other guys. It wasn't ever about him, and you know, I was in awe. He never really knew that, but you know, I really looked up to him. To this day, I look up to him, and he was one of the best captains that's ever been around, and you know, the organization's blessed to have him here.
Tracey's legacy in Calgary and throughout the NLL is legendary. A remarkable combination of skill, determination, and leadership. Kelusky is without a doubt one of the greatest lacrosse players to have ever played the game, culminating in his induction into the Lacrosse Hall of Fame in 2016.
I think he's been a great ambassador of the sport of lacrosse, and anybody who's got the opportunity to meet Tracey, work with Tracey, play with Tracey, is a better person for it.
You know, I think Trace has got to be in the argument for one of the best ever for a couple reasons. He's a small guy, but what he did have, he had heart, and he had ambition, and he had passion, and those are qualities that lots of players don't have nowadays. It's very rarely you find someone with the superstar skills that has that passion and that drive and determination. So if I'm making an all-NLL team, that guy's on my team any day of the week, and I know he's going to come out there and do whatever it takes for our all-NLL team to be successful.
The game has meant everything to him. He eats, sleeps, breathes lacrosse. It's been his living, right? He's one of the few players that have been able to make a career from lacrosse. So whether it's playing the game, whether it's coaching the game, you know, and you know, he's given back to the youth as well.
To be named, you know, or even talked about pound for pound one of the best players, like, that just doesn't happen by accident. He walked the walk, he didn't just talk the talk, and it was contagious. He made you a better player, and he made you a better person, and I think that's why he was able to garner so much from his teammates.
You know, Tracey means a lot to the NLL. He's a great ambassador for the sport. I know in Calgary, you know, we ran camps, we ran clinics, you know, to get out in the community to sell the brand of lacrosse, and Tracey is continuing to do that. He runs lacrosse camps, he still coaches in the NLL. He's you know, he's doing a lot for the sport of lacrosse, and the NLL needs more players like Tracey Kelusky that love lacrosse and just want to see it grow and want to see it be really successful.
It is an honor for the Calgary Roughnecks to have Tracey Kelusky join Caleb Toth in the Forever a Roughneck program, a distinction honoring the best and brightest members of the Calgary Roughnecks franchise through their history. Congratulations to Tracey, his wife Emily, and their son Keller.